Hey guys, and welcome back to another DVG After Hours podcast, episode 28. Woo! I did my own
woo. We survived another week.
Yay! But guys, thank you so much for subscribing last week. But if you could do it now, because I am asking, that would be amazing. We are really trying to get to 100k where I can pants down Joel.
What is going on? I will not be pantsed on the podcast at 100k, okay? I just literally, as I said that, I just saw a vision of me getting pantsed on the 100k episode.
Yeah.
So
Right at the end, as we do it, and then we can like beep it. It was hilarious.
oh, actually, I've got an idea.
I've got one too.
I've got one too. We'll discuss it afterwards.
But I get to pants you.
It involves you being pantsed.
They are some big old pants.
Oh my God, those pants are big. Damn. Them double-decker knickers.
They're so comfy, okay? Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, so first topic, your phone. Would you like to turn it off? Is
no,
that okay?
I put it down the side because
It does it every time. Every time we have to stop for your
What do
phone.
you do? Turn it
Put
off?
it on silent and no vibrate.
Okay, cool.
You okay there? Back to the pod?
Yeah, guys, back to the pod.
There we go.
God, my phone vibrated.
It does it every time.
That's such a lie.
Will,
Well,
doesn't
every
it?
single
He puts
episode.
it on the fridge and it's like in the corner. Yeah, you see?
I probably that 3 times.
No,
we're
guys.
28 episodes in. It's probably
Guys,
happened 3 times.
Most times.
Anyway, so
Anywho.
something that we didn't touch on last week was the Olympics. Probably the reason we didn't touch on it is because we didn't really watch it. Now, I was having this conversation with someone. I was like, I don't know if it's just because we're not really into it, but I felt like it wasn't really as that big a thing this year.
I feel like other years it was a really big. I remember growing up it being a really big thing. The
one year I remember it being a really big thing was when it was London. We were actually in Spain at the time, but I actually remember we were actually watching the events and it was really exciting. And I actually loved getting into it because we don't ever really watch sports. And I was like, I get why people kind of get into this. But the only thing I did see of the Olympics this year was the legend, and that is Snoop Dogg, right?
Now, we have told people on our podcast, right, if we had a boy, you wanted it to be called Calvin because that's Snoop Dogg's real name. Fun fact, if I haven't said that before.
Calvin Conda, what a sick name. Calvin Conda.
Yeah, but
Sounds
then
like
it was back, obviously we don't have a boy and we're not going to have a boy, but it was back when your best friend Roland had a little boy and his name is Ralph. I'm like, no, because it sounds like Calvin Klein and Ralph Lauren. Imagine at the park, like Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein.
Yeah, weird scenario.
But we didn't have a boy anyway for that to happen, but yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, no, I'm a big fan of Snoop Dogg, but his like commentary and stuff on the badminton was absolutely hilarious. And then that's all I really saw of the Olympics was because of Snoop Dogg.
On TikTok.
But because I was actually thinking about this, right? Like what other person, yeah? Like when you think about Snoop Dogg as a rapper, right? He first released his first album, I think it was like 93, right? He's still relevant to this day that the Olympics are using him to promote the Olympics because he's that relevant this far on in his career.
Or maybe just the old people from that.
Don't say old people. No.
From
He's
1993.
culturally relevant to even like our kids, right? Know who Snoop Dogg is. Like he's a legend. Like who else has done that? Who?
No.
Name someone.
Anyway.
She don't want to. I want to. Can we dedicate at least a section of the episode to Snoop Dogg?
No. Anyway,
Fine.
moving on. I actually had so many messages because with obviously everyone knows that Chloe loves gymnastics and she's really good. She's taught herself so many things. But on holiday, she learnt to dive into the pool and she was flipping and somersault and whatever they're called.
She's actually mad. What she just run into the pool and just does a somersault. She lands on her back. I tried it. It was very painful, but
she's so good.
She
I had
don't
so many
really
people like,
care.
you should train her for the Olympics.
wait, when we was at the beach, she flipped on the sand. She was landing on her back, but in a way that it wasn't hurting herself.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
She's
actually
insane.
mad.
It's so funny. There's something about because she doesn't like to be taught things, but she likes to teach herself. Like, so she will practice and practice until she's got it. Like, make me film her so she can watch it. And she's so good. But like,
She has zero patience
so
for
when
being
you say
taught.
about going to
though.
the Olympics, she can't because she won't go and learn the skill part of it. Like,
She doesn't
the
really like
technique.
discipline or like listening to people. She's very much like a self teacher person. Like in the pool, I was trying to teach her like like how you can basically, because we were diving down to the bottom of the pool to pick up the rings, and I was trying to teach her how she can get better at it because we were having like competitions of who can get the most. So she was sort of listening to me and she was improving massively, right? But then she just gets fed up and I'm like, you're not listening. Like, I'm trying to show you something. You're going to get much better at it. She's like, she just wants to do it herself, her own way.
Yeah.
And it's like so frustrating because it's like, you're so good at this. If you just listen a little bit.
No, but she just won't. That's how she is.
She's so strong-willed,
Like, this could be a
independent.
really stupid question now, but so do you get paid for being in the Olympics? Like when you're training and stuff, like these people, do they have to have another job as well? Or
Oh, that's a good question. I don't really like. If obviously, like, if you're like really well known, you'll obviously have like sponsors. That's obviously how they make their money. But that's actually a really good question. I don't know. Like, how do you fund? How do people get funded? Like when you're up and coming and you don't have any sponsors yet to go to the Olympics, there must be like either it's like funding, or I don't know. Yeah, they don't get paid.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. They must get sponsored, but how do you get sponsored before you're like well known?
If you could do, say like I gave you had 6 months to train for something to be in the Olympics, what are you choosing to spend them 6 months training for? Like, what do you think you'd win a medal for?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I feel like I feel like something to do with swimming. Like
swimming? Why?
You're really good at swimming really fast.
Because I can beat the kids in the pool.
And you can do it holding your breath. You can do like 3 lengths under the water.
Do you know, fun fact, at one point I could hold my breath underwater for 3 minutes. Yeah,
you did
serious. Because I did free diving, not for very long. I did it for a few months and I actually got to a point,
your asthma was actually really good as well.
The first time I went free diving, like to the first class or group, whatever it was, I could hold my breath underwater for like 40 seconds. And that was hard, right? But do you know what? Like 90% of it, 95% of it is all mental. All right. So, but on a serious note, what sport would you do? 6 months to train for the Olympics.
I honestly don't know. I think I would be rubbish at all of them. If I had to pick, I would probably say boxing. And the only reason, I don't even think I'll be great at it. Don't think that I think I'm good at it. But we had a PT session, well, quite a few PT sessions on holiday. And she did boxing and she said that I actually had a good hit and she called me a little pocket rocket. So maybe that's...
She called you a little pocket rocket because she probably fancied you.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with your boxing skills.
No, I was good. I'm good at like...
punch in the air.
Yeah. So yeah, but I don't want to train. I don't want to spend 6 months doing it. But if I had to, that's what you do.
So talking of games, we've got today's sponsor of the podcast, which is Monopoly Go. So as you guys know, me and Sarah are super competitive and luckily we have found the perfect game for that, which is today's sponsor, Monopoly Go. So it's super easy to use. It is the mobile twist on the classic game of Monopoly where you build your empires and you go for the gold to win. You play on not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations.
Over 150 million players have already downloaded it and the fact that you can play it anywhere, anytime is so handy.
In Monopoly Go, you can play with other tycoons, such as this one sat next to me, to expand your empire and your riches. And when you play together, it takes it to the next level. One of the things that I love about Monopoly Go is the fact that no matter where I am in the world, I can literally jump on the game, I can connect with friends, play with them. Plus, you can make new friends all over the world and play together.
And it's super easy for you because then it's on your phone, you've got it all the time. Because if it was an actual physical board game, we all know you'd forget to bring it. So...
or I just wouldn't get out and play it.
Exactly.
Although I don't really think that my friends and family like playing with me because, to be fair, I'm pretty damn good at it. And I say that I'm pretty much the number one tycoon.
And you definitely let everyone know as well. When you are
yeah, why wouldn't you? That's the whole point of winning a game. Letting everyone know that you are the best. So this is your chance to compete with your friends. And if you're like me, to stand at the top of the podium as the number one tycoon. So guys, whether you're working with a team or you're going for your own glory, you can build an empire and win big like a champion.
So make your move and download Monopoly Go. It is free on the App Store and Google Play. Okay, so talking of celebrating, we're going to celebrate my birthday soon.
Yeah, so if you watched the previous episode, Sarah was talking about how she's going to have a country western themed birthday party.
Sarah's Hold Down. Whoop, whoop. That's what it's called. Hold down, throw down.
Hold down, and there's nothing country about it.
The thing is, yeah, I can't remember if we spoke about this, but my parties are always really good fun. They're pretty epic. So when I said I'm doing a party this year, I thought I'm just going to do it like a really casual one of like people coming over, have a bit of music on.
Never.
Like people saying,
Never would you do
what
that.
Food? I was genuinely, they're like, what? My friends like, oh, what food's going to be there? I was like, I wasn't going to do food. What? You always do food. Okay. Who's the singer? I don't have a singer. What? So,
Shania Twain, apparently.
No, because she ain't replying to my
Wait, can we
messages.
just hold on, back up? You made your bed, now you lie in it, okay? On the episode where we were talking about your party, you said you wanted to inquire.
She hasn't replied to me.
You DM'd Shania Twain.
She didn't reply to me.
To ask her to come and sing at your party, and you wonder why people are asking you who's the singer, what's the food, because
it'd be epic
you have
if it
food
was
trucks
her.
turning up. You don't just do like you
I do have a drinks truck turning up.
see. People are well within their rights to want to know what to expect at your party.
I know, but sometimes, like, do you know what it is? Like, I like
You
to
have
do,
cocktail makers all the time.
yeah, but
like,
I like to do it for other people's parties, but no one does it for me. No one plans anything.
behave.
mine.
You had a party with an Elvis impersonator
That was
for
the
your
best
birthday
party I've
party.
ever done.
You had a dance floor in the garden. You had cocktail makers.
That was literally, and that was the start of the epic
So
party.
do not tell
No,
me
that
like,
was the
oh,
start,
poor
'cause
little
I
me,
did
I
that
don't do it for
party.
myself.
You know who did that for me? Roland. He got that Elvis. He got that dance floor. He went and picked the dance floor up and he put it down, and he made me a bar up for Casey's party. Like that was Roland. He did that. Like
Good old Roland.
yeah. So it started that, and now I've had to continue these epic parties.
Oh, it was such a burden to you. You love it.
I do love it.
But also, I just want to touch on the fact that when you were saying about Shania Twain, I was like, well, how much would you expect to pay for Shania Twain? You were like, oh, I don't know.
No.
Well, like if it was like a couple of grand, I'd think that's too much. And I was like, that's wild that you think she would be less than a couple of grand.
No, I obviously knew
When
it
we-
would be more, but I just didn't. I don't really know how much. I
Right. Well,
don't
anyway,
know.
2 people actually did a bit of research. People who watch this podcast did some research, and they've DM'd in to say how much it costs for Shania Twain to sing at a private event.
It's obviously
Okay.
going to be a lot.
Right. So I'm just wait. Let me just pull up the messages. 1 second.
Like,
Okay.
what kind of research? Can I trust this research? Is this like legit, or have they just put in Google like how much is Shania Twain? Because
Well, yeah, they haven't. I mean, they've not flown out to meet her agent.
She sang in
No,
a little.
of course they've Googled it.
She sang in a little club in Kingston, our local town. Like, I can't imagine they would pay tens of thousands for her to sing there.
Yeah, but Sarah, what you have to realize is
When-
that that's slightly different because she was on tour, so that is
Well,
like
on tour, just stop off at my house.
okay. Well, she won't. Yeah, it's different. She would have been on tour, so she's there anyway to stop off at a nightclub and yeah. They
Anyway.
would have still paid her a lot of money. So what? Well, what do you think it cost?
I don't
No,
know.
I need to hear it from your mouth. Okay.
I now feel like you're going to say something wild, like £50,000 or something.
£50,000.
I see. I have no idea.
You think £50,000 is wild?
Yeah.
I would pay £50,000. Well, I wouldn't. But like,
You've said it now. If she says to me, I'll do it for less than
she wouldn't
50,000.
do it for 50. I think you're so delusional. with it. How much? Like, be reasonable.
I don't
Shania
know.
Twain.
I've just given you 50. I don't know. So just give me the answer.
Okay, if you were gonna go,
Oh, for goodness sake.
if you were gonna
just
go
give me
really
the
crazy,
answer.
go for a crazy. Like, there's no way it would be X amount.
250k.
Okay, minimum $710,000,
No,
but up to $1.5
No.
million.
don't believe it. She's
I
not living
believe
like
it.
she's not living like wild.
What? I don't
Like
know how she's living.
1.5 million per show. She's just done loads.
How do you know how
I don't know, I'm
Shania
just
Twain's
guessing.
living? What do you know about Shania Twain's personal life? You don't think Shania Twain is like multi-millionaire?
Yeah, but like
You think she's doing gigs for a couple of grand?
no, but I just
I love how out of touch you are on this subject. I don't know
I
why. It
have
makes me
no
so it brings me
idea.
so much joy
I have
in
no
comedy.
idea. Things like this don't come into my brain. Like
So when you think
like-
she does a tour, what do you think you don't think she's making millions and millions and millions of pounds?
yeah, but not like per one. Like no, I just don't.
Yeah, she
I
is.
don't feel like like back when like she was releasing those songs. I feel like yeah, but I don't think
Did she not
you're
sell out?
paying that much.
She
Like,
wasn't selling out O2 and that.
no, I think people could get tickets easy.
Oh, okay.
Like
I'm sure she was feeling it, but anyway.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. I love her, but I don't know many people else that also do. Like,
No, you think just you listen to Shania?
No, what I'm trying to say is that out of all my friends, that she's not.
Yeah, it's
she's
fine. It was
amazing,
just a
but
bit of, like, we don't need to get too serious about it. It's just a bit of joke.
No, because I don't want her to hear this podcast.
Okay,
And then not
another
to-
delusional point of Sarah. You think Shania Twain's like the girl that lives next door or something? Like,
Oh,
you're gonna,
she would.
She listens to our podcast. She's out there gigging for a couple of
Listen,
grand
if
a
she lives
night.
in the house next door, that's how I know she's not on 1.5 million each time. She's because she'd be in a better house.
You think she's not living some crazy lifestyle?
No, she is. I believe she is, but not like. Or maybe she's just really humble and really down to earth, and she just doesn't show that side of it because she seems really nice, like the girl next door.
You think she's just driving around in like a Skoda or something?
No.
But anyway, yeah. So Shania Twain won't be coming to Sarah's party, but I do think it's going to be good. I look forward to your parties. Actually, I think everyone looks forward to your parties.
They do. Even Casey's friends all do. They literally said, because I said to her, oh, have you let your friends know about my party? They're like, oh yeah, they're already talking about it. They're already talking about their outfits of what they're going to wear. And they were like, honestly, Ava said to us, you know that they still talk about your wedding and said it was the best party they've ever been to. Like, yeah. My Elvis one was the best party I think I've ever thrown though. As in, like,
It was seriously good. It was really, really good.
so now
None
I
of them
feel
have
like,
lived
okay,
up
what
to
about if I
that.
get a Dolly Parton tribute?
Impersonator. Why do I just imagine that being really terrible? Like, almost like, imagine like a man in drag in his 70s
That'd
in a
be
blonde
wicked.
wig
That would be epic.
with a fag hanging out of his hand, a Stella in the other.
What? Why?
I don't know, just like really terrible performance. Like, I don't know. I've never seen a Dolly Parton tribute. Like, you get a lot of Elvis, so you can get some good ones. Michael Jackson would be good.
No, that's not
Keep 'em away
country. I
from
need
the
to
kids.
stick with the country.
Oh,
I can't believe you
Lord.
just said that. Honestly.
But yeah, so are you going to like decorate it like themed?
Yeah.
But you're not going to get bales of hay, are you?
No,
We
because
had a bad experience then before.
we did like a festival themed party for your brother once, and I helped out. And the hay, it was in our garden, and the hay just stayed for ages. Like, it was hell to clear up. So no, I don't want.
So what are you going to do?
We'll just have to
Like
wait.
a wagon?
I actually want one of those mechanical balls in the garden where you see who can hold on the longest.
That would take up pretty much the whole garden.
Yeah,
though.
but we just put in the house. We're never on the grass if you think about it.
That is true, we never. That's actually a really good idea. Imagine that drunk as well.
Yeah. But then I'm like, who's manually controlling it? Does the guy?
Me.
Does the guy from where I
I
do
volunteer.
It? Yeah, but
I
will
always
they
think,
allow it?
just
or-
crank that bitch up.
Will
Do you know
they
what I mean?
allow
You know
it?
when you're watching it and they're going really slow and you think, and it's like you think, nah, just full whack that thing. All of a sudden.
But now I'm talking about it. I was really going to go minimal, but I'm thinking I get that, and I think I should also get a photo booth because we actually do have so much fun in a photo booth with our friends.
Yeah. Also, I'm
'Cause
not
I never
even,
get photos
I'm not
of
even
it.
going to be there to help you set up. So you have to do it all by yourself. I'm going to be...
You don't help me set up anyway. Who are you kidding? What you mean is I'm not going to have someone take the kids. You are really good with taking the kids out so I can sort. So, Mum, can you please help me?
Your mum
Can you
will
help
be
with my
watching
kids?
this.
But yeah, no, she's going to be like, oh no, not another time to have the kids. She's helping the kids out today while we're here.
No, Casey's got the kids.
She's called my mum in.
So Casey's at... Because I was well surprised. Because, well, I should know these things, but they come as a shock to me because I don't really get involved. But yeah, you got Casey looking after all three of the little ones today.
Yeah.
I was like, bloody
I
hell.
paid her.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Couple of grand.
She gets paid more than Shania Twain for babysitting.
It's worth it. Those kids are hard work.
She didn't seem like she was getting paid. Her reaction to it, her enthusiasm for babysitting her little sisters, I got the impression she was doing it for free because she did not seem that enthused.
No, no.
How much did you pay her?
We didn't agree a price.
What?
So
You get back and be like, there's a tenner.
Here's 10.
Gutted. That'll teach her that you've always got to agree a price. That's a good life lesson, that. But yeah, I don't know. But then she's got all the kids, but she's going to meet up with
My mum.
your mum. So your mum's got all the kids.
Yeah.
And the reason you didn't want to ask your mum.
Because my mum's got them tomorrow because we've got your brother's 40th birthday.
So But what you've actually done is sort of lumbered your mum with the kids
Both,
through
both
Casey,
days.
but Casey's had
That
to
was
ask
not
her.
my fault. Although to be fair, my mum said to Casey, "Oh, I know you've got the kids on Friday, so
Do you reckon?
I'm off work, so if you want me to have them, I'll come."
Do you reckon
with
Casey's going to split her babysitting money with your mum?
you." No. And then my mum's
Five
now
for
probably going
each.
to be watching, saying, "Why don't I get paid a couple of grand every time I have the kids?"
No one's getting paid a couple of grand, by the way. No one. Not even Shania Twain.
Although, if
How
she
much was
wants
Shania
to,
Twain to babysit
yeah,
the
oh my
kids
gosh, if
and
we
sing
get her
them
to come
lullabies?
babysit for a couple of grand and she just sings as, yeah. Okay, so not only obviously my birthday, we've got back to school coming up, and it's taking it quite serious now. Oh, all fun and jokes to the side, seriousness. No, we just as Sophie finished school in July, I had a call from her school, and there's concerns that maybe it's not the right school for her. She's had a year, obviously, the whole of year 7 in the school, and she hasn't really progressed, and which is fine. They feel that within this next year they can still support her, but it's the following years to come with obviously that she's so delayed. So on average, every other child there is about 4 to 5 years behind their average peers, whereas Sophie is probably like 8 to 9. So like with that dropping down, the gap, again, it's that whole thing of like when she was in primary school, the gap just gets bigger. So she may have to go to a different special needs secondary school, which we are like, it's hard because being told, like we thought it was going to be like the best school and we were really hoping that this is a great future for Sophie.
Well, you cried when we went to look at it because you were so happy about it.
I was so happy with the school, with like the school itself and what it stood for, and I felt that she would be really happy there. So to be told that, I was really sad. But on the other side, I am like, if it's not right for Sophie, we genuinely just want her to be happy. So we are going to go and look at another couple of schools, and in it actually might be the right thing because at the moment her travel time is like an hour there and an hour back. She's exhausted, whereas these other 2 schools that we're looking at, they are closer, so she wouldn't have to travel as much. There then could be maybe a chance that I can take her, not a taxi, if it works with the timings. I'm not sure, that's not a definite, but it might just be that she is happier and they finish school earlier, so she would be home earlier as well. And they have swimming pools in and like hydrotherapy pools, which we obviously have said before about swimming for her is like an escape and it's good for her muscles because she does get pain in her hips and her legs and her knees and stuff. So it would be good for her. I just think it's really hard because it's accepting like, oh, another thing's not going the way we thought it was and we have to rethink things. Like it's hard because there's no one else really out there to tell you like. So I'm
and the thing is,
looking at schools online. Like,
every child with special needs or disabilities it's all very, very individual. So I think I was quite surprised because going into school, I thought that this school, Sophie would be the average pupil. But then as the weeks and months went on, I realised that Sophie's actually like way more delayed than the other kids.
They've said that she's the most vulnerable.
Well, I think we actually proposed that to them because when we had issues with her being bullied in the taxi, which we didn't know about, and obviously we spoke about this before, and she was like really unhappy, but she wasn't communicating to us. And then basically just long story short, we found out that it was just like a real breakdown of communication, that we weren't being fed the information and we were saying something's wrong. So we went into the school, and I think this is one of the things I found hard is the first parents' evening. So where all this stuff was going on, we didn't know what was wrong with Sophie. She didn't want to go to school. We were like, something's up.
Just wouldn't tell her.
And we were going to parents' evening to like try and get to the bottom of it. And like all they wanted to talk about was her schoolwork and how delayed she is. And we were like, well, we know this. Like, I was like, how can we sit here and talk about whether she can read or do this or whatever? And like, when she's not even happy, I was like, I want to get to the bottom of like why she isn't enjoying school. And it was just like, oh, and like this is her maths and this is her reading and it's not. She's like, really delayed. And yeah, we know this is why she's in a school like this. Like, but why is she not happy? And then we had a meeting with the head teacher and we said to them, Sophie, from what I can see, and tell me if I'm wrong, Sophie is the most vulnerable kid in this school. And they were like, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So I was
But
like,
when we first put her to this school and we were saying, you know, she's come from a primary school where she had a 1-to-1. Should she have this here? And they're like, no, in our school, we don't do 1-to-1s. It's more like the ratio is so small that there's enough adults.
because we were saying we feel like because she's so vulnerable, she should have a 1-to-1 with her all the time. And they said, like, and obviously I know like about funding and stuff, but we said we will personally fund for her to have a
But they
1-to-1.
felt it wasn't an issue for, it was more of like with the children in their school that we.
No, I know it wasn't a funding issue, but what I'm saying is people watching this might think, oh, you don't like this funding. I'm saying take the funding out of it because we offered to fund it ourselves. And they said, well, if she qualifies for a 1-to-1, regardless of funding, then this isn't the right school for her.
Yeah. And they felt like they could meet her needs in the way. Like,
but basically, cut a long story short, we get to the end of the school year and they're basically like, you were right. She probably does need a 1-to-1 and maybe this isn't the right school for her. And we're like,
yeah. And she should have a assistant in the car with her, not just a driver, because she had a taxi driver. And again,
there was and there's a couple of other kids in the taxi as well. Yeah. But we've been saying,
but that was always meant to have happened. But that was a funding thing with the council that they didn't have. But now it is in place. So going back, she will have that. But yeah, it's just pretty.
The thing is,
it's so tough.
It is hard, but I actually feel like it is. I feel a little bit almost like relieved because I feel like she just hasn't been happy since she started secondary school, and she used to love school. So I'm kind of like, do you know what? Like I dread the thought of her going through another, however many, 8, 9, 10, another 4 years of this and not enjoying it.
Well, some schools go right up until they're 8. That she could be there longer.
So I'm like, I'm actually all for looking at new schools and finding something that does fit her needs, that she is happy with. Because ultimately, like, our thing for Sophie is like, we want her to be happy and we want to get her to get to whatever level of independence she can get to. So whatever that looks like for her, we want her to get to that. But we don't want to, we want people to realise like her limitations and work within them.
With Sophie, like, she still can't like read or write. The only word that she can write guaranteed correctly every time is mum. But even her name, one day she writes it perfect. The next day the letters are jumbled up. Sometimes she's missing letters. Like she just, it just isn't there. Like, so academically she's not.
Obviously we want her to still continue to be taught like reading and writing, but
it's
I
really
think
hard because
it needs to be like at her level and at her own pace. And like, that might be another 4 years until she can.
But if you think about it, I was going to say, like, she loves books. Whenever we go somewhere, she wants us to buy books. At the moment, she wanted a Harry Potter book when we were flying home off holiday. She wanted us to buy her books, right? We were like, if only she could read, I feel like she would really enjoy this. And it's not by not trying. The school have tried like,
She doesn't really have like, I think what I noticed with her is that she doesn't really have like the attention span. Like she does for a very, very short amount of time. And then you'll say like, write this. And she just starts writing and not even thinking. She's just almost like, I'm done with it. I'm just going to write. I'm not even going to look. Like,
yeah. And she's funny because the school were teaching her about like private body parts. And they were saying, this is private. Anywhere on your swim costume is private. The whole time they were teaching that throughout this year, I've never heard her say it. We've got back off holiday and I got her out of the bath yesterday. She's like, this is private. I'm like, that's correct. And it's like, oh, now it's locked in after all that time. But we haven't mentioned it in all that, like on the time off from school.
yeah.
But somehow it's then in her own time, it's locked in. And she's saying to me, and I'm like, that's correct. So we keep our knickers on, we put our bra, like, and I'm now, what's the right word? Like, not instigating it, continuing.
Reinforcing it.
Reinforcing it. That's it. I'm now reinforcing it. But I just don't know. I can't work out why some things lock in. And like, just don't know.
I was going to say another struggle that we've got with Sophie at the moment is like she finds a lot of comfort in the iPad, right? but we also feel like it's a bit of like a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because like it soothes her and it calms her down, but then we feel like when she's been on it too long, she gets really agitated, and then when we take it off of her, she has like on holiday, she was like punching, kicking me.
Yeah.
And I think that's really hard. I think before we went away, we did actually do a period of time where we were like
3 weeks.
no phones, no iPads, no nothing. Like you can watch a movie. We find that movies are like fine.
Yeah.
But it was actually really good. And then because obviously being away on holiday, I don't think it was the wrong decision, but obviously like traveling with iPads with kids or going out for dinner, we were going out for dinners like late at night. So it's like we brought it back in, but I do feel like we need to
go back. Well, before we came here, I said that was it. The iPads have gone now because, yeah, it is true. We need to find something that helps her escape because she doesn't like it when too many people are around all the time. Her social battery definitely runs out. And
I feel you, girl. I feel you on that
she
one.
needs her own thing. She's really into her makeup at the moment. She goes off now and like, this is the good thing is that when you do take the iPad away, although it is quite hard, it does encourage her. So she goes off now and does like her makeup and stuff. And she keeps asking me,
sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Can I teach her to do like the black line above her eyes? But yeah, bless her. She's a cutie.
We just need to find the right school for her.
I feel like I'm really like her calming person though at the moment. You know, she comes and she'll put her nose to nose and just heavily breathes like and calm.
Because she'll have like a full on meltdown. She'll be like shouting at us, but then
I can just
she has this moment afterwards where it's almost like she doesn't. I know she regrets it. You know, like when she hits and stuff. I know afterwards she feels really bad. She says sorry.
She's so loving. She's yeah.
And like yeah, so
And
like
you
it happened
feel
today
it.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel it. Well, she was saying I don't want a babysitter today. I was like, well, it's your sister Casey. She's not a babysitter.
Yeah, she's your sister.
And you're at the house. You're okay. Like,
yeah,
bless her. She's a cutie.
So obviously on a previous episode, we did a whole episode on all of Sarah's pregnancies. We did it all about labours and everything like that. And we spoke about our experiences with midwives, some great and then some terrible. And then I was looking on the video at all the comments, because we do read the comments. I don't know why I said that, but obviously I just want people to know we do read them. So make sure you do comment. But there was actually so many people, I'm just going through them now.
I knew there would be.
Who had bad experiences with
told you.
midwives. And like a lot of them being like, they made me feel like, they made me basically just feel like a terrible
and
mother.
I saw on there as well exactly what we were saying. It's about so many different midwives have different opinions. So it makes you feel like you're not sure which one to go to because you're being told different things, which especially if it's your first, it's very hard. It's really daunting. Like, yeah.
But anyway, there are some really good midwives out there. Yeah. And the thing is, I know it's a tough job and I think a lot of respect to the midwives. We had one midwife, which we were talking about on the podcast last time.
Sophie.
Her name was Sophie. And we remember that because obviously we've got Sophie. Well, crazy coincidence. She watches the podcast.
Yeah.
Which is like amazing. And she actually emailed us and she sent a really, really nice email. And she said, "Dear Sarah and Joel, I'm not sure if you read this, but I just heard your podcast, Pregnancies and Our Worst Midwife Ever." Luckily, she wasn't the worst one.
No.
"But I'm Sophie, your midwife from Madison. I just wanted to contact you both to say thank you so much for your kind words. It made me tear up. I remember your birth so clearly because it was really special. I'm so glad I was able to be a part of what you all needed in that moment. It was an absolute pleasure to look after you. It's moments like this that make me feel proud to work for the NHS and proud to be a midwife. Thank you again, and I hope you and the family are doing well. Lots of love." From Sophie. It
meant so much to us because we opened it when we were on holiday and I was so shocked to see it. And honestly, it made me feel really emotional.
It made us both feel really emotional, like, wow. And
she genuinely, I'm not just saying this because we said it before we knew that, but she genuinely was amazing. Like, she really was good. And what I really felt was she just was happy to really listen to me and my body and what I felt And I don't think she thought it just because I had 5 kids. It was my 5th. I think she naturally was that kind of person that she was just ready to go with like what needed. And she was really reassuring, and she had a really calm voice. And like, I just think she was brilliant.
The thing is that a midwife, being a midwife, it's like you're dealing with women in their most vulnerable state, right? They are in immense pain. They are going through emotions and feelings, and they are going through the most traumatic and wonderful experience of their life. And it's like,
you can even make that even better, or a whole lot worse.
You can ruin
You've got that power.
You've got that power to ruin that experience or leave that experience feeling like, wow, incredible. So shout out to all the midwives who are making that a great experience for the mums. So yeah. And all the ones that are being absolute dickheads. Maybe reconsider. No, stop it. Oh, Lord. Anyway,
so talking of assholes, we've got a game. We've got a game. Am I the asshole?
Oh, wait, is this a game?
Yeah.
It's a dilemma. All right, so it's not a game. Sarah got it wrong.
Sorry.
She doesn't pay attention.
No, I didn't.
Typical woman, that.
No,
Jake's typical man.
I was on my phone, couldn't do 2 things at once.
So this is dilemma, and it's called Am I the Asshole? Wait, let's play a game.
Did you write it in, Joel?
There's no question. Right, let's play a game. Do you think, before we read it, because we've not read it, do you think they are the arsehole?
I'm going to say no. Because he's I'm assuming it's a he, it could be a her.
Why? Why would it have to be a guy?
I don't know. But I feel like actually maybe not, because he seems to be, is he? I don't know why it's he. I don't know. She, them.
No way possibly could it be anything but a man.
Whoever they are, it looks like they're being very self-aware. So maybe not.
And just to be competitive, I'm going to say they are the arsehole. Let's find out. Let's play another round of Am I the Arsehole?
See, okay. Sounds like a game.
Come on down. My friend, 23F. Does that mean 23 years old female? Okay.
I thought it was a bra size.
Wow. Big and small. It's all at the same time. My friend, who's 23, female, who I've known since high school, is currently pursuing music in LA. She is an incredible writer and went to a great private art school in California for writing. So many of us thought she would pursue songwriting as opposed to singing. She has released 3 songs and has an album on the way, and they are just bad. She's got a horrible singing voice. It's flat and whiny with a weird modulation in pitch. I mean, this is very descriptive. You could just say she's a terrible singer. And she's even worse when she's live. All of her LA friends are gassing her up, telling her she is amazing and supporting her. But I wonder to what extent it will hurt her in the future when someone in the industry finally says those words, "You can't sing." I want to support her and her future, but it's tough to watch her actively and ambitiously pursue something she's objectively bad at. Would it be better for a friend to say something, or shall we all just wait it out?
I believe you need to wait that out. You're going to look jealous if you say something.
You should absolutely 100% not say it. No,
right, there's a couple of points to this, right? I'm going to say is firstly, right, how do I word this?
You are the arsehole.
Yeah. Because she's released songs, she's got an album. How has she done all that if she is terrible?
Because anyone could do that. I could make an album. It's money. I'll go to a studio and pay someone.
Oh, can you really? I thought it was really hard I thought you had to get record deals to put a record out.
Oh, if you want it to actually do well, you need to. But anyone can make an album.
Okay, fine.
I could go and put a song on Spotify tomorrow, I think.
Oh, okay. But then
coming soon.
The other thing is that it sounds like
100k subscribers, guys, and you're getting a song from me.
The fact that she knew all about the pitch and that it sounds like she wants to be the singer. So is there a little bit of jealousy there as well?
Okay. Yeah, let's unpack this a little bit. First of all, I think in any scenario you do need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You just need to examine. You don't have to admit to us or anyone else. This might not be the case, but just take a moment inside yourself and just be like, if she was really good and she made it as a singer, would there be any element of me slightly jealous? And if there is, then maybe just question whether or not your views on her is being skewed.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't have to admit it to anyone else. Just have to admit it to yourself. So taking that out of it, and you're actually like, there is no jealousy, and you're just like really like watching this go wrong. Well, unfortunately in life, like you kind of have to let these things play out, because you will look like a terrible friend. And if someone, when I first started YouTube,
put on X Factor, because it's really entertaining when people can't sing.
But like, she might get better. I mean, there's people who aren't that great at singing who've made it.
Yeah.
Like Jennifer Lopez, not really that good a singer.
Yeah.
She sings out of tune quite a lot.
But she's great. We love her.
She made it. But yeah, no, I don't think you should tell her.
No, I don't think you should tell her. I don't think that's really very nice. And
also, just like, the thing is, you got to think about this, right? So let's say you turn around and you say to her, listen, you can't really sing. This isn't really going to go anywhere. Do you think she's going to turn around and go, you know what, you're right, and I'm going to stop it? No, she's going to be like, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
She has to realize, she has to go down that path herself.
She will think it's a
But what you can do along the way is encourage her with the things that she is good at. Be like, oh my God, you're such an incredible songwriter. Like, have you thought about like ghost writing for other artists whilst you're still trying to build your career? Like, you can still guide her in the right path, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
That is tough. But yeah.
All right, so we have another dilemma here, which is I'm having a house party with 30 people for my 16th birthday. The dilemma is my mum won't allow me to have alcohol. She allows me to drink, and if I go to other parties, there will be alcohol there, but she doesn't want to supply alcohol as she's paranoid about legal issues. All parents would be aware there is alcohol nonetheless. I'd find it really embarrassing having a party with no alcohol, as everyone's party I've been to does have alcohol, and I'm afraid no one will enjoy the party. I know my close friends wouldn't care, but it's friends that I'm more distant with I worry about. Am I being unreasonable? Ask my mum to buy alcohol for 30, 15 to 17-year-olds. Oh, dilemma that we had in our own house.
We have had this. We've had it now with Casey and Grace.
We had it. I feel like it was more of an issue with Grace. So with Casey's 16th birthday, we were like really...
We say for example, there was 30 kids. I'm just going to put random, she said 30 kids. We would buy 60 drinks. So we were like, okay, in our heads, they've got 2 drinks each. Alka Pops, a couple of beers for the boys, you know, that sort of thing. So you've already limited it. There's alcohol there. You've got to understand that at 16, they are drinking. They are pre-drinking. So they will already drink before you come. So if you have an unlimited amount, they're going to come pre-drinks. They're going to bring their own, even though you tell them not to. And so I would definitely say limit it. Don't have none, because I think we get it. Like at that age, we would have been embarrassed if everyone else is having parties and there's no alcohol. Like you kind of have to, but in your head, do it in a way of still being in control.
But we also had this dilemma. I feel like me and you had a bit of we didn't really see eye to eye on it with Grace's party. This is the same thing that we had with Grace's party. Grace is like, it's so embarrassing if you don't allow alcohol like everyone else's party. But at the same time, you were saying, I'm responsible for these kids and I don't want them getting absolutely wasted and then having to explain to parents. But I'm like, most parents know that
parents, but some don't.
Some don't, yeah.
Some don't, and a lot of kids are good, but some kids can excessively drink and not know their limits.
To be fair, the ones that excessively drank are the ones that snuck their own alcohol in, and they're the ones who ended up being sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't really prevent it.
But I would say it's like, don't like go. I would just be strategic with it and buy a couple per person. There'd be people that don't drink. There'd be people that might have, 3 or like. And I think with Grace, we allowed them to have like some shots, and we did them all like one shot as a welcome.
It wasn't strong shots. It wasn't like tequila.
No,
it was like apple sour. I think you'd have to shot about 8 of those to feel drunk.
Strategically, I can't say the word. We didn't just have unlimited supply of vodka or, it was like, it'd be like cans of something like Malibu and pineapple or like bottles. And so
the thing is I think I know there's people who will be watching this who will be like, absolutely not should you be supplying alcohol to 16-year-olds, and they would feel really strongly. But like the reality is these kids are drinking at 16. Like, and it's not really the end of the world. It doesn't mean they're little rogues. Like, it's quite normal. Like, do you not remember being 16?
And be present
like,
in these parties. Like, so in these parties, we're around. We're limited. We're not but
we cut people off if we saw that they thought they'd had a bit too much. Like, we said, right, that's enough for you.
Yeah.
Which obviously is embarrassing, and there are things that are going to happen that are embarrassing for the kids, where you have to tell the kids.
But you're looking out for these kids at the end of the day.
But I don't think supplying like a few alcohol pops, if kids aren't really going to get absolutely smashed if you provide enough alcohol pops for like everyone to have like two. The kids who bring their own vodka, which is going to happen, they're the kids who are going to get absolutely smashed, and that's not really a problem. I remember when I was like 14, I think I went to this party and the parents had literally beer, as much unlimited beer as you could possibly drink. I got absolutely wasted because I just left to my own devices. Like, oh my God, free beer. I can't drink beer since then.
I just remembered
what?
when Grace had a party and we said, like, we'll supply the alcohol again because that helps to tell your friends not to bring drinks. And because she's got an older sister that, you know, call out, we said Casey and her friends could be amongst the party to be eyes on for us. And then I think, was we upstairs? Or we're taking the kids for dinner or something. And we come back and then put them to bed. And then we came in and Casey's friends, the boys, they were like, we sorted it for you. We're like, what? Like, some of the boys snuck in vodka. We helped you out. We drank it. And Casey's friends thought the way of helping was to drink the drink. I'm like, oh gosh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but cheers, guys.
That was the
really
boys,
helped.
not the girls. But yeah, it was really fun.
No, to be honest, we've had so many parties. Like Casey and Grace have had so many parties at our house, and like touch wood, they've got good, like not touch wood, but like they've got really, really good friends. And yes, we have had a few kids at the party who have got absolutely smashed, and they had to be carried out to the car or whatever. But it's life. Like, they're all right. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all do it. We all do it at some point. Who hasn't been absolutely wasted?
This is the thing, because like at our age, we had friends and us or whatever, like, that would go to the park at 16 and be drinking. Like, that's never, touch word again, it's never happened with our girls because we always try.
We've always had a very
open and
thing about alcohol. It's like, alcohol isn't this big thing where it's like no alcohol, where they felt the need to like want to have to go and get pissed at the park. So it's like,
and they've never been put in a dangerous situation, which is what can happen. And I'd rather.
Also, it's not illegal to have for your kids to drink at home. It's actually, they can drink from the age of 5. That's the law. If you Google it, obviously we would never let them. But people have like accused us of like breaking the law, and that it's like, it's not actually against the law. They can't go into a pub and drink or drink out in public until they're 18. But you can have a drink at home.
Yeah, just monitoring it. So hopefully you have a really good party, and
good luck.
Yeah. It is a really tough. It is tough for a parent. I get it, because
I remember when I had a sleepover. I think I was like year 7, and it was like we were going to Blockbuster. That's what you used to do back in the day before Netflix. Go Blockbuster and rent a movie.
A video.
We were on the way there. My dad went, "You're not getting anything. You're not getting a 15 or an 18 or whatever." No, I think it's like you can't rent whatever. And I was so embarrassed all the way there. I was like, oh my God, he's not like everyone else. We'd go to the house and we watched whatever it was, like 15, 18. And I was like, I had to then get there and tell my friends like, oh, we can't get a 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
That was so embarrassing. I literally was like, I would rather have not had anyone around. That's how I felt. So I get that embarrassment. Like, it's bad.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all we have time for, folks.
Yeah, no, honey, we need to talk because I've been a good boy this week.
I've been a good boy.
I've been a good boy. I'm not in trouble. Sarah's got no honey, we need to talk. But yeah.
Not that we can talk on camera, we'll talk off camera.
Oh God, then it must be bad.
Yay.
Right. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're trying to get to 100k subscribers, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.